In 1963, Porsche showed the pre-production 911. Then it was called 901 because this was the internal engineering number for the car. But at the 1964 Paris Motor Show, the Peugeot brothers raised a legal objection because they said Peugeot actually owned all the car numbers with a 0 in the middle. So this caused Porsche to change their model number officially to 911, which of course became the iconic car. But the interesting thing is that 232 of these pre-series cars were actually built, but 82 of them had the 901 chassis number, and the other 150 were then badged 911. But of these 232 cars, only about 50 exist today. This particular car is almost identical, but it comes from 1966. All the cars behind are actually the models that came in between. The G series, the 964, the 993, 996, and 997, and then 991. The first 911 was actually, the pre-series was made in 1963, but this car is from 1966. There aren't many differences, but it's a 2-litre carburetted 130 horsepower car weighing about 850 kilos. The new car we're here to drive today is the 7th generation, known as the 992. This car weighs almost twice as much as the original 911 and has 450 horsepower. Now that is 50% more than the 911 Turbo 3.3 of 1978. So if you think about it, today's normal Carrera is a lot more powerful, a lot more faster, and yet more economical and less polluting than the famous iconic 911 Turbo. For those of you who don't know Walter, two-time World Rally champion, Walter has also been the guy who signs off every new Porsche since officially 1994, but in reality Walter was also involved with Porsche way before then, and he helped to develop the four-wheel drive system of the 959 and the 964, which came out in 1989, the Carrera, first Carrera 4. Walter, can you please tell us about your life with Porsche, evolving all these wonderful generations of 911?
Yeah, it was a very interesting time, I tell you, and especially if you compare the 67 car to this car, it is a lot of details which have improved by step. Every new car we were sure that will be the best Porsche ever has built, but the next one was coming. And today we're standing here on the 992 and you say, what you can make better? No way to make something better than before. The old car had absolutely no electronic at all. This car is full of electronic, and the improvement is only possible because we have now the possibility to use electronic, because to make a sport stiff car with a high performance and make a car with comfort is a big difference. 20 years ago we said it's no way. Either I make a sporty car, I make a comfortable car. But this is a result. We have here a more sporty car than ever before, and we have more comfort than ever before. But it is only possible with the new suspension, which is designed with a lot of electronic, with new valves on the suspension. We have a wider front track, and all these details they have made step by step, from the G model to the 993, 964, 997. But I think today everybody who is sitting in a Porsche, he is able to go safe very fast. And that was the most important thing which we had in our head, to make a fast, safe, sporty car.
Would you say, Walter, that 55 years of evolution helps? Because with the competitors, they stop a model, they're starting from scratch each time, and they never quite get there before the next model change.
Yeah.
But with practically 5.5 decades of evolution, it's given Porsche a much better chance of getting the product absolutely right.
That's right. Look, this car, where is the engine? In the back. Look here, the engine is still in the back. And that was, of course, is a lot of experience which Porsche has learned, because finally the shape is the same on the old car like on the new one. Only aerodynamic, all small details have improved. And I think that was one important thing for Porsche, to improve so much and so fast and come today to this perfect product.
In terms of driving dynamics, I mean, some people have said with each generation of car, and this is not just about 911s, this is about every modern car, with more electronics, electric power steering, this and that, people are saying, well, there's always a layer of isolation. The car feels less tactile, less analog than before. How has Porsche managed to engineer that feeling back into the cars? Because I felt it this morning, this car talks to you like a lot of modern cars simply don't.
Yeah, of course. First of all, one step which makes this car fast and easy to drive is also the tires. The tires has improved so much in the last years, and Porsche was always taking care to get all this feeling, the steering. If you're sitting in this car, you have a feeling of steering like in the old car without power steering. You can feel everything, and that is something which the engineers in Porsche understand very well, to get all this feeling in the car, and the car is never a synthetic thing. It's still a manual car, which it was 50 years ago, and that is the position of sitting in the car. All these details gives you the information that you are a part of this car. You are not sitting on a car, you're sitting in the car. And that gives you this fantastic feeling.
So really it's man and machine in perfect harmony,
yes,
to use
an
old phrase. Okay. Would you say, Walter, that the difference between Porsche engineers and engineers of normal car companies is that every Porsche engineer is actually a car enthusiast, is a good driver, and is fanatical about what he's doing?
From my experience, you know, I was involved with many brands, but coming to Weissach and talking to the engineers, everybody of them, his life is Porsche, nothing else. And I think that is one secret of the success of Porsche, that people they live Porsche. That is every day, and even if he goes home in the evening after his work is finished, he still has Porsche in his mind, and that is the result. And I hope it's getting on with this feeling. We find also in the future the same people which are only thinking day and night.
So in the Carrera 4, you have obviously 4 wheels grip, and it's absolutely amazing. I mean, the way the car deploys its power coming out of curves. That's a GT3 RS in front, 500 horsepower, and the rest. You know, with a professional driver, and tell you what, we gave him a bloody good run for his money. The steering on the Carrera 4 is a little bit less sensitive than the Carrera 2, but the trade-off, of course, of that is that you have absolutely unimpeachable grip. The way this car gets its power down on this racetrack flat out is absolutely amazing. You can begin to put the power down at the apex, and it just keeps on balancing the car, gripping, putting that 530 Newton meters straight down onto the tarmac. If you trail brake into the turn, settle the front, the car just, it rotates perfectly. You just don't feel that the engine's at the back. It's just like a perfectly balanced mid-engine car. Absolutely phenomenal.